Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank the Hyderabad chapter of Young FICCI Ladies Organization and especially the chairperson, Ms. Samia Alam Khan, for having invited me to this interactive session. Also, I would like to thank my dear friend Ajwala Gupta for making the connect happen, and I feel greatly honored to be here. To begin with, I believe the topic that you have given me today is not an easy one. Although we might say many more things about women leading the country, women, being forward or whatever, we still do have our own issues. And how do we solve these issues? In general, I try and look at any issue from the perspective of what has happened in the past, what is our present, and how do we face it in the future. In the same light, if we try and look at this issue, as an Indian woman and a strong admirer of our mythology, I believe that Indian women stands apart from the rest of the women in the world. We have a certain quality which I believe is lacking in every other woman of the world. And I believe that this quality that we have is inherited by our most celebrated Panchakanyas of our mythology, that is Draupadi, Sita, Mandodari, Tara and Ahalya. Most of our mythological women characters are very strong, opinionated, and all of them have multifaceted personalities. And particularly what we call the Panchabhutas, the earth, fire, water, wind and space. An Indian woman is supposed to be the embodiment of all these five elements. We are very strong, very solid, very dependent like Mother Earth. We are very passionate like fire. We are of course very calm and serene like water. And we are very free-spirited like a wind. And we are also like space, full of mystery. So an Indian woman, I believe, is a combination of all these elements. And because we have so many elements mixed with us, we somehow are different from every other woman of the world. And because we have all these elements in our personality, we try and find a balance between the modern world and also the orthodox world. I mean, we have to attend a cocktail party today evening. Tomorrow evening, we have to go home and do a Karwa Chauth. We managed to do both of them very equally and very efficiently. We managed to strike a balance between our modern world and also a very patriarchal world which has a lot of restrictions on the women in particular. And this balance and this particular element of our own identity, if we can teach to the world, if we can show the world how you can strike a balance, I believe women of India can not only lead India, but we can lead the world also. Particularly, we've all been around the world, we've all seen many women. We've seen them having either of the qualities, but they're not like us, very mixed, very, very balanced. So that balance, if we can bring, I'm sure we can lead the world one day. And particularly India today, when we speak about the present scenario, India today is home to about 586 million women. This is 17% of the world population. And we are home to 173 million women who are below age 15. That means 20% of the world's young population is in India. So any change in the lives of these women, both young and otherwise, socially or economically, is bound to have a great impact not only on India, but also on the world at large. So once we understand this fact, we do know as powerful, successful women sitting in this room, why is it essential to make a change in the lives of Indian women? Because we are going to make a change in the world at large. Particularly, we would like to, if we can, ponder upon the education segment of the women. Between 1981 and 2011, women's literacy in India was about 30%, but now it is about 65.5%. And in 1990, only 60% of 21-year-old women were literate, whereas in 2011, it grew up to 85%. And 2011 census particularly has become a landmark because in that census, women outnumbered the male in the literacy rate, which is very unique and very different in a country like India, where women rising above men is a rare occasion. And when we look at the world institutions, all these elite institutions like Harvard, Oxford, and many more institutions like that, usually it was the men topping in terms of getting graduation or the degrees. But today, 58% of world's college degrees are taken by the women. So we are not only here, world over, getting across, cutting across and rising above a certain standard. And also in terms of economy, because most of you are businesswomen here, you will know that the women are dominating today's industries, particularly in the fields like healthcare, education, personal services. And also in every 5 small businesses that are opening across the world, 2 are opened by women, which is a considerable change compared to a lot of countries, especially the Asian countries, which are a little bit more restrictive on women. And women today, you know, particularly Indian women, are not no more spectators of the success, but they are achievers of it. And they are no more looked at dubiously when the house is not in order. You know, once or twice if an Indian woman says, yaar chalo aaj bahar khana khate hai, it is not a taboo anymore. You know, they go out, they try and give some breathing space for women. So there is a visible change in the lower segment, middle class, and also the upper middle class of the society. And also particularly, women today have started to seed, tend and grow their own careers. It is no more like, you know, papa ne bataya mujhe ki main computer engineer karna chahiye, so I am doing it. It is not like that. Women today, youngsters today are trying to identify what they are really passionate about and trying to do it and see to it that they are successful in it. Particularly when women take their success in their own hands and women take the ownership of their achievements, I am sure there is no limit and nobody can stop.